Genesis. Show my hardcore is.
Today, kind of wanted to talk about why a lot of people seem to really hit some hard plateaus once they jump onto new training programs or new ideas, methodologies in terms, especially in the CrossFit world. And, you know, one of the big reasons and one of the big things and issues that I notice the more and more I look around at all the different types of programming that are coming out, especially with how popular and how big the competitive side of CrossFit is becoming. You know, you have Outlaw, you have OPT, you have all these guys that, you know, are successful or have coached successful athletes, and they're putting out their workouts for the, you know, not the general public, but those who aren't at that quality that those guys specific athletes are at, but doing those workouts, and they seem to really get good results for the first few months and then hit a really hard plateau that just they can't really seem to bust through. And like I said, the more that I've been looking at that and their programming and trying to analyze, kind of figure out why, where those plateaus come from, and what separates the elite level guys from hitting those plateaus who are doing that training. And it really comes back to the type of programming that these guys are putting up in terms of their workouts. You know, these guys are creating workouts that you know, if you're running, they already have them created under the assumption that you are efficient in every movement. And so by doing that, you know, by already thinking they have that efficiency, it becomes a lot easier to program for that type of athlete compared to someone who may not have the efficiency, who may just be fast, or who may not quite understand what efficiency is and how important it is in their training. So kind of one of the things that they really wanted to hit home with today was talk about what efficiency is and how to go about it in your training to make sure that your training continues to always improve and get better, but it carries over in ways that'll make you a better competitor for multiple day competitions, multiple workout competitions, and also in your just typical box workouts. The definition of efficiency basically is not the speed in which a movement gets done, but the amount of work that it requires to get that movement done or complete that task. And so, you know, you see lots of guys at your gym, you know, at your box or around, who, or even at local competitions, who they may smoke that first and second workout of those competitions and then just seem to hit a wall. And it's because they may have the fastest time in that first and second workout, but it took so much work and so much effort for them to get that time that when the third, fourth, and the more important workouts roll around later on in the day or later on that weekend, they have nothing left in the tank. And it's not because they're not conditioned. And that's what most people would look at as the issue, and they would go back and train harder at their gym, you know, reevaluate their training program to include more conditioning, more work capacity, stuff like that. When really it comes down to, because of doing all those reps, it you know, no matter how good a shape they're in, if they don't become efficient in the movements, they're not going to ever be able to break through that plateau and dominate multiple competition workouts and multiple days, like in regionals or games or even more bigger local comps. So how do I kind of program and really pay attention to efficiency? Is a lot of our workouts, you know, on top of the conditioning stuff, a lot of our workouts are based purely on doing the movements either alone or in a Metcon, but not doing them timed, but doing them as efficiently as possible, where, you know, 10 reps have to be perfect, where a guy has to, you know, your training partner has to watch to make sure that they are done perfect, no matter how fast they are, in both a fresh and a fatigued state. For example, like if we were doing an upper body workout that's designed for power and strength endurance, we would start after the warm-up with 5-10 minutes of what most people call skill work, but it wouldn't be just to work on the movement. It would be to practice the efficiency of that movement. Practice, for example, let's take pull-ups, for example. It would be to see how many sets of 5 to 7 reps we could get of a you know, butterfly chest to bar pull-up without struggling. You know, anytime you come off the bar, the set doesn't count. And anytime that your training partner or coach that's observing you notices that tenseness come over your face and that grit and that grind, that set doesn't count. You have to get off the bar, you have to rest, you have to get back on only whenever that becomes more efficient. And so yes, starting off, your Metcons and your that type of stuff, you know, will take a hit, because at the end of the workout, we'll also kind of redo that test in a fatigue state. And the goal is, as we test and retest and progress through our strength cycle, where that is the skill we're really focusing on in terms of efficiency, is to, every time you drop off the bar, to be able to get more reps as efficiently as possible, as relaxed as possible, and also trim that rest time down between efficient sets, to where by the time a competition rolls around, you are not doing, you know, 20 doesn't even send you doesn't even make you winded. 50 doesn't even make you winded, because you're so used to making every rep perfect and every rep efficient. So it's not always blowing through the hardest Metcon possible. There's other ways to condition that are going to build up the energy systems you need, that when you combine that with efficiency, with very efficient movements, you're going to get the best of both worlds. So make sure, you know, really focus on making all your movements efficient. Don't worry about the clock, especially if you are far out from a competition and you really need to get better. You know, don't go in and be a burner in the workout unless the movements of that workout are something that you are efficient in. And don't think you are, you know, you're going to be, when you're tired and fatigued, you're going to be rushed, you're going to jump on, you're going to sacrifice it just a little bit to get that speed, when really by the time you get to the competitions that matter, those movements aren't going to be as optimal as possible because you did sacrifice. So I recommend having your training partner run the workout staggered. You know, even if you're going to lift with them and do your strength stuff, you can watch each other in between sets of efficiency and really hammer that efficiency. You know, keep that relaxed composure. Get off the bar whenever fatigue sets in. For pull-ups, for example, get off the wall for handstand push-ups, fatigue sets in, and then work on trying to make that efficiency with less and less rest. And by the time that competition rolls around, that skill will be perfect. That skill will be efficient to where you will have the work capacity and the endurance to last multiple workouts and do other elements of set workouts if these are already efficient. So make sure you subscribe. Check out the link below to see all our other videos and visit the actual website. Opt in so you can pick up, you know, kind of all our little hints and stay up to date on our tips and tricks. Thanks for checking it out. Now you guys know, and of course, knowing's half the battle.
Genesis. Show my hardcore is, you know what I'm saying? Yo.